Hello, Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com here. Um, I'm sitting in a 2015 Dodge Charger with the Rally package, and it occurred to me because I get asked the same question a lot by people, and so I thought I would maybe answer that question here because I'm sure there are a lot of people who haven't asked it who want to. Um, a car like this has a very specific market. Most cars are aimed at a certain type of buyer. Um, Very few vehicles are kind of uh, open to everybody. Like, they very few vehicles have a really wide appeal. Um, Most manufacturers will build a vehicle and then create various trim packages to appeal to certain segments of the overall market the vehicle's aiming for. This vehicle is a very good example of how that works. Um, the the Charger itself has kind of a history or a persona of being a muscle car. Um, the Charger started in the late 60s and then became uh, popularized in movies like Bullet with Steve McQueen. It was the evil vehicles that were chasing him around. And also, of course, the Dukes of Hazzard. And so the car has that, so kind of a nostalgic persona. And then it has a more kind of an appeal that it has to carry, even if it doesn't necessarily deliver on that. So that's why I say it's a persona, because the car itself has that muscular background and everything else, but not every version of this car is muscular. In fact, the version I'm sitting in right now is powered by a V6 engine and an automatic transmission, neither of which are associated with muscle cars. But this is the most popular package for this car is a V6 motor and an automatic transmission. And that's because you get the look of the car, which is the persona that says that it's a muscle car, yet you get the fuel efficiency in everyday driving from the ease of an eight-speed automatic and a six-cylinder engine. So it's an odd little thing, but most people don't think of that. They think, a muscle car is a muscle car, right? But that's not necessarily true. The way a muscle car is seen today is very different than it was 20, 30 years ago. And again, the market is mainly about buyer appeal. Buyers buy what they want, and they don't always want the giant muscle car, but they do want maybe the feeling of one. Same with luxury sports cars. Luxury sports cars are often less sport, more luxury, but they still have that appeal. They still feel like a sports car, and they look like one, but they don't necessarily act like one. And you'll see that in every market. We have pickup trucks that are more about looks and comfort than they are about towing and hauling. We have, just name any vehicle, and there is something in that segment that is different. So when people ask me what I look for in a car, that's the question I get a lot. What do you look for when you're evaluating a car? Well, it depends very much on the car and who the car is made for. So this particular car, 2015 Dodge Challenger with a Rally package, it sells to a certain buyer. That's a buyer who wants a muscle car but doesn't want they want the trappings, that's how I should put it. They want the trappings of a muscle car, but they don't want the responsibility and costs of a muscle car. So they don't necessarily want the 707 horsepower Hellcat and all of the fuel costs, insurance costs, and probably ticket costs that are going to go along with that. When I drove that car, I drove it for a day, and that was more than enough for me to really appreciate the car without getting in trouble with the car. You get to a point where if you don't do that as a lifestyle, but you want to feel that way, you don't necessarily need that vehicle to do it. Harley Davidsons are another good example. Most Harley Davidsons are not the same as the Hell's Angel persona that's built around them. Most riders are, middle class, middle aged, everyday people. They're not, you know, getting in bar fights and shooting it out with the cops and stuff. That's the sort of thing that's the persona that's built, but that's not what's actually happening. So a car like this Challenger with the rally package, it's the same thing. The outside is very sinister. It's extremely badass looking. Very good looking car. It has a big muscular presence. It has body lines that say that it's moving and going fast while it's doing it. All of that stuff. It has all of that. Then it has the interior that you can see some of it here. This is the XLT package. It has beautiful leather, great stitching, a wonderful look for this car, and it's very comfortable. And it's a big ride. It's a big, wide-bodied sedan. It's a big vehicle, but at the same time, it has that low roof. It has the muscular haunch. It has the big fenders. It has the wide-looking tires. All that stuff. So it gives that persona of being a muscle car. But at the same time, it gets 27 miles a gallon on the highway, has a V6, doesn't do 0 to 60s in under 7 seconds realistically, and it has an automatic transmission. None of those things are associated with muscle cars. But that's not what this car is about. It's not about 0 to 60 times. It's not about horsepower ratings, and it's not about the outrunning the cops or any of that stuff, or chasing cops if it's Bullet. It's none of those things. It's the feeling that you're in a muscle car. You look at the car, you drive through town, and people see the car. You get in and out of the car. You start up the car. You drive the car. It feels like a muscle car. It just doesn't perform like one, and many buyers like that. And for me, that's perfectly all right. That's a large part of the vehicle market now. Many people are like that. They want that sports car look, but they don't want to actually own a sports car. They want to be able to drive kind of fast or feel the corner when they turn or whatever, but they also need to haul the kids and they need to go get some groceries. So there's a lot of those buyers out there. Actually, probably the majority. And so a car like this, or anything similar, a car like this Charger with this rally package, is very much what people are looking for now. There's always going to be the aficionados and the forum goers that are going to complain because Dodge might decide to drop the Viper, or I don't know, maybe the Chevrolet Z71 off-road package isn't really an off-road package or whatever. You're always going to have those people, but those are the minority. They're very loud, but they're the minority. Automakers don't listen to them. They listen to the dollar figures coming from the dealerships. And the dollar figures at the dealerships say people want that pickup truck that has the off-road look, but maybe not all the extra equipment that's required for actual off-road driving. They look at a car like this and they say, people want that look. They love the look. They love the feel of the car, but they don't want the giant rumbling V8 and the insurance and everything else, all the other costs that go with that. They want the feel, but they don't necessarily want the actuality. I just wanted to express to people that I don't downplay cars like this. I don't downplay a car like this that looks like and wants to be, some people have called it a wannabe muscle car. It looks like one, but it isn't one. I don't downplay that because there are a lot of buyers that buy that. They want the look and feel, but they don't, like I said, they want the look and feel, but they don't necessarily want the trappings that are required to go with it. They don't want the baggage. And I totally do not blame them. This is a great car to drive. I enjoy it. And there have been a lot of vehicles that I have not necessarily thought I would buy this. But I've said, I know who buys this. And I understand fully why they're buying it. So it's pretty rare that there's a car that I don't like, that I think that is not worth anybody buying. So anyway, I've rambled on for probably working on what 15 minutes or something. So I probably better just shut up because I'm already going to have a lot of job editing this thing. But there you go. That's it. Aaron on autos.com. Talk to you again.